Hi, I'm Todd Anderson. Today we're going to install the GatorTrax textured on top of this 2015 F150 with a 5.5 foot bed. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to locate our passenger side rail. Now the way we're going to find that is we're going to have a large opening at the front end of it. We're going to have a little tab that comes out. It's got a little hole in it. The rear is going to have this peg that comes out. Before we can install it into the canister though, we have to remove the packaging material. So we're going to pull this piece of tape out of the way, and we've got this tube that this is just for packaging. It runs through the spiral. We'll just pull it right out. We're ready to go. The canister has to run into the rail. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the canister and or the cover. We're going to start sliding it into the rail. What we're going to do is we're going to bring the rail forward enough to where the tab in the front lines up with a hole in the back side of the canister. Inside the hardware pack, we're going to have just some Phillips head screws. Install those into the holes of this tab. Now on the driver's side, we're going to do the exact same thing, but before we can install the rail, we first have to undo the latch. We open that latch that pulls the stopper out of the way, and that way the rail can slide through. All right, now we're going to find our canister cover. This is going to be kind of a wedge-shaped cover, and we're going to have a rubber flap coming off of one side. That rubber flap is actually going to be facing towards the cab of the truck. And what we're going to do is we're going to line that up to the rails on the front side, and we're just going to slide it right in place. Now you'll notice on the top, it's got a threaded hole on either side. That threaded hole is going to line up right to the hole in the rail at top. All right, now going back to the box, we had our hardware. We're going to find a small Allen wrench. We're also going to find a couple of screws that have an Allen head on the top. If you start getting a little bit of resistance, that's okay. You just want to back it back out. This is powder coat over the top. You might have a little bit of powder coat inside the threads. You just want to work that powder coat out without stripping the screw and without crossing the threads. We don't want to tighten it down all the way until we've already done the opposite side. Next step, you're going to want to get another set of hands, and what we're going to do is we're going to lift it all the way up above the bed caps. We'll run it along the side. When you get up to the front, we can go ahead and drop it down. You want to, it's going to be fairly tight fit, so we're going to drop it down together and just let it rest right inside the bed caps. All right, now what we're going to want to do is also watch that rubber seal. That rubber seal needs to go underneath the rail. So whenever you install it, make sure that that slides up underneath there, slide it back. Also make sure you're pushed all the way up to the cab because we're going to want to make sure it's all the way forward when we adjust it back. All right, now we've got the rail pulled all the way to the cab of the truck. What we're going to do is now close the tailgate nice and gently. All right, now we've got an 1/8 inch spacer tool that we want to have between this edge and the tailgate. So we're going to go ahead and slide that forward. Once we've got proper spacing, we can pull it out and do the other side. All right, now we're going to go ahead and start installing the clamps. We're going to find on the rail where we've got a couple of adjustment screws that are close together. The clamp's going to go in between those adjustment screws, and it's going to clamp the rail up to the bed cap. We're going to just tighten it down a little bit for right now so we can do some other adjustment. All right, the front clamp goes on the exact same way. Again, we're going to clamp that in place, put it on finger tight. Repeat the same process on the opposite side. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a tape measure. We're going to measure from the inside rail on one side to the other side right at the front clamp to make sure we've got the same distance at the front as we do at the back. Right now I've got 58.5 inches. And go to the rear, measure also the clamps. And that's also 58.5. Now if this was a little bit narrower or a little bit wider, we would need to make some adjustments. All right, the way we would do that is we would first loosen up the clamp. Now let's just suppose it was a 1/4 inch too narrow. And so the rail would need to move in an 1/8 inch on each side. We want to make sure it's the same amount on each side. So what we would do, we would take the provided Allen wrench. This is a larger Allen wrench that they have. Slide it in there, and then you can just start turning that and watch and let that rail move in 1/8 of an inch. Do that on the opposite side as well. Next, we're going to install the drain tubes, but before we can do that, we need to remove the plastic cover. Also has the keys on there. I'm going to set those to the side and keep them. And this just peels. All right, now we're going to locate one of our drain tubes. We're going to take the washer, slide over top, make sure it's seated all the way to the base, and slide it up in there. You'll hear it clip. Once it's clipped, it's in place. All right, now we remove the plastic kickouts before we installed the bed tread. So I know the hole in the bed of the truck is going to be right here. So what I'm going to do is take and cut a little X right into the bed tread. Now my drain tube can be pushed right through that hole. Repeat that on the opposite side as well. All right, now we're going to go ahead and test the operation by closing the cover. And we can go ahead and peel off the protective layer. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts. We're here to help you out.